Welcome to Season 2 of the Bacon Decker Podcast. I'm Will, and this is Tyler, and together we make Bacon Decker.
Yes, we do.
Oh man, I'm so excited to get started.
I think everybody can tell you're super excited. Yeah, we're still working on some things as far as the intro goes. We're trying to piece together something great. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. But yeah, welcome to the new setup. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you guys can tell we have a new setup, a new vibe. We're just trying to get everything in order.
A more creative atmosphere, kind of more fun, more professional looking type
definitely.
of environment.
We got a new camera, we got a new setup, we got a logo on the back. It's nothing fancy, but it is fancy to us. We both feel very confident with this setup and very happy with it. And with that being said, we have a ton of catching up to do. First things off, obviously the reason we took the break is for me to get married. That, in fact, did happen.
Nobody got scared and left at the last minute.
Nobody got scared. Weather was a little interesting. Thought it was going to rain really bad, but it held off just in time for the ceremony to be over with.
Yeah.
And wedding went great. She was super happy with it. I was really happy with it. I think everybody there had a fun time.
Yeah.
On both family sides, friends side, I think it turned out perfectly. We both got home that night and honestly talked about it, and we were happy with every aspect of the night.
It was definitely fun. It seemed a little chaotic leading up to it
Yeah.
because we were not sure about that weather. And it was misting all day, and it had poured the night before, at the rehearsal dinner.
Yep.
And I was just like, man, I really hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
And
I kept telling everybody that if you even mentioned the rain word, like our word, I said, you're probably going to get hit. Like, don't say it in front of her. Like, to me, fine, we can talk about it, like what ifs and whatnot, but with her around, it was like, no, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be great. Didn't want to stress her out any more than possible. But the wedding went great. Her and I both wanted to make it very clear that the best man speech was phenomenal from you. We will have a video file of it eventually. So I don't know what all he caught, but if we do get it and it is decent enough that we can put it on YouTube, we're going to put it on YouTube on my channel. Yeah, so you'll see the wedding and hopefully the speech and whatnot. But it was very emotional. Like, you did a really good job, and the whole time I'm kicking myself and thinking, what am I going to do at yours?
Well, I was sitting there the whole time talking, and I'm like, you can't cry. Don't you cry.
I got teary-eyed. Yeah, that was like, so I told myself when I'm sitting there, I was like, I didn't get real emotional throughout the night because I was really focused on making sure everything went well for the night.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I cry now, and she looks over and sees me crying at his speech, but not when she was walking down the aisle to the same extent, I was like, I feel like she's going to get mad at me.
You're going to look like a huge dick.
Yeah. So I think what happened is it just, we hadn't really put our friendship into words like that.
Yeah.
We both felt that way about our friendship, but we never put it.
We've, of course, been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this together, so we've talked about our friendship.
Yeah, the story of us and whatnot in like season 1. So, but to hear it that way, I guess, in the moment, and like the ring on my hand and sitting next to my wife now, it was just, I don't know, it all hit at once then. I definitely
You're emotionally secure now that everything was basically over.
I got emotional with the first dance with my mom. I don't know what it was. It's just, she knows what I've been through as well, like throughout the years, and obviously see me growing up. So like to be at that point when you're dancing with your mom at your wedding, it's a pivotal moment for both of us. Obviously we had some family members that, didn't get to see us get married, that passed away beforehand, that, last year, the year before. It's, not everybody was there that we had in the family. So it was sad, but, it happens. It was just emotional for us family-wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, food was phenomenal. Donato's did a great job. We did Donato's for the catering.
Yeah, I'll tell you straight up. When I heard there was going to be pizza for the reception, I was like, it's lit.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
I had one piece. So they didn't have it set up to where they would bring us the drinks and the plates or whatever. Yeah. So you ended up getting us our food.
Yeah, I got both of you guys.
And then... I had that one piece of pizza that you brought me, and then the salad. I had the salad. I don't know why. I was just like, the salad's really good. It was really good salad.
Everybody said this. Was pretty
So, and then I had a breadstick. But then that was it. And she was like, "Well, do you want mine?" Because she wasn't really hungry either. Because, of course, your adrenaline's going.
Yeah.
You're excited. You want to get up and dance and have fun and talk to everybody. You know, it's over. You know, like this is the celebration of it now. So we didn't really eat much, but then we took a pizza home with us after. They left a bunch of them. So Donato's did a great job. I was super happy with their catering services. You wouldn't think that a pizza place did a really good job, but they were there and working throughout the night. They were going and picking up plates and stuff at the tables. They were, super thankful for Donato's and Spencer at Donato's. If for some reason you see this, appreciate everything you did. And man, I could sit here and thank everybody that was there that made it happen.
Yeah.
But it would take too long. I feel like it would just drag on because her family that helped plan it out, my family that helped, and then like her and myself, our friends, the bridesmaid, the groomsmen, everybody did a phenomenal job. Like everybody was very helpful and supportive. You know, if I needed something, one of y'all went and got it. There was no like, "Hey Tyler, can you go get this?" It was like, "Oh, we'll go get it for you." So, and that was the same way on her side. So, so yeah, I got married, went on a honeymoon. We went to Panama City Beach. Had a blast there. Went to Gulf World there. That's like you can watch dolphins do tricks and whatnot. It's like a
kind of like SeaWorld.
cheaper SeaWorld. Yeah. Smaller SeaWorld, but still really cool to see that. The weather was kind of iffy because of the
tropical storm that was down there.
Yeah, Zeta, I think is how you pronounce it. Hit Louisiana mainly, and I think Mississippi as well. So we just got a bunch of rain and wind from that, so we couldn't really get in the ocean most of the days there. But we ate so much good food. Like I am shrimped out for sure. Like fried shrimp is my go-to when it comes to seafood. I'm not real big on like fillet fish or anything like that from sea. Other than that, we just really relaxed. It was like a lot of stress.
Yeah,
relief.
de-stressing the whole wedding process. I mean, it was so many months in the making.
Yeah, I don't know how I managed to keep everything together between the YouTube stuff, keeping the relationship strong with her, building up to the wedding, getting the wedding stuff taken care of, and like also working a new job. I don't know. So like, once that night was over, I just a ton of weight was lifted off of my shoulders. I felt like, and hers too. Like both of us feel very relaxed now. We do feel different. We definitely feel married. A lot of people are like, it's no different. Like you guys already were living together. You guys have been together so long, but as soon as we said those vows and like it was official, I mean, both of us feel like it's more of a commitment now. You know, this is it. Like no matter what we go through together, and we figure it out together.
There's no out now.
Yeah, I mean there is, but both of us don't think of that.
Yeah.
You know, divorce is not an option for us. We both want to build a relationship and work on a relationship together for the end of the time until she kills me. You know.
Yeah.
But
until us as men inevitably die earlier.
Yeah. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah.
So, what'd you do in the time? Because we really haven't talked much since we took the break. It's more or less just been wedding stuff.
Just what work we had to do on this, and basically the wedding. We haven't played much Xbox to catch up in between then. So
I played Rocket League a little bit. That's about it. That's all I've played. Just because I've been here doing this stuff or the wedding stuff, and like you said, we haven't talked at all really, other than a couple days to get this knocked out. This turned out so much better than we expected. So much quicker than we expected.
Obviously, you can see like the painted walls. Or I guess they didn't know the difference between. Well,
we do have the before and after pictures. We'll be putting those on the Instagram.
Yeah.
And showing you guys. We planned to do a behind the scenes video, but it turned into we didn't have enough time to film that and also really do what we wanted to do creatively. We wanted to make sure it was done more than anything. Yeah. So.
And that's mainly because of again our work schedules clashing, and I work pretty late into the evening, and so that kind of like hinders the ability for us to get together, because at that point Gabby's either back from work already, or work so late I'm exhausted and I need to get up for work the next morning. So
and then I'm off Tuesday, Wednesdays instead of Saturday, Sunday like
most
people.
When I'm off.
So we don't have a day off together either to plan out.
Yeah.
Not just the podcast, but the Bro Down stuff as well. That will be coming out on this channel the weeks to come as well. we don't have really a set schedule for the Bro Down. It's more or less when we get time.
Yeah.
The main goal is to make sure we keep the podcast every 2
Yeah.
weeks.
The podcast is going to be a consistent thing.
Yep.
We'll see where the Bro Down stuff goes. If we have the ability to, pump those out to you guys, we might have a schedule for them. And there's also going to be more stuff that comes out on the Bacon Decker channel.
Yes, that we're going to keep disclosed.
That we're going to work on throughout this season.
Yeah, super excited. And that was our big goal, is to have more than just one video. If we were going to make a separate channel, we had to do more than just a podcast every 2 weeks.
A lot more content. And I feel like we can at least disclose this. Streaming together.
Yes. Yeah.
So we, aside from this set that we have here, and his set for his Pokemon card openings,
which will be on my channel.
Which will be on his channel, where they have been.
Yep.
We're also going to do gaming streaming together, which will come on this channel.
Yep.
Because we're in the room we had our studio in before. We're setting up an office in there where we can edit videos and also stream.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
It's more like an office setup, but there'll be 2 desks set up back to back, so we'll be able to stream. We're not sure like the specifics of that, webcams and games we're going to play and stuff like that, but we're both gamers. We both enjoy gaming, so it might fall under the category of the Bro Down. It might fall under just streaming in general, or just videos that we're recording beforehand and then put them up and edit them. We're just kind of hit and miss, but we definitely want to put some gaming in the channel somewhere,
because it is a big part of our friendship.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we both enjoy it, like you said. Talking about what I've been up to.
Yes.
I've been trying to buy a house. So I'm big boy, I guess, and then it didn't really hit me till I started the whole process, because that's a lot of money.
Yes.
To buy a house, and of course, as you all know, I'm engaged now, and we're going to get married in June, hopefully. Get married in June next year.
If we can get
God
married,
willing.
If we can get married in October in 2020, I believe in y'all, and get married in 2021. I hope that we can.
But so we've been looking at buying a house. I looked at a couple options this past weekend, specifically, and inspected them and things like that. Put an offer in on one, didn't get it, so that was kind of crushing. It was real close by.
Yeah.
So I was gonna be like, man, real close to Tyler. It's like 5-minute drive.
I don't know if our significant others would have appreciated it, but it would have been cool for us.
Definitely. It definitely has been like an enlightening process of just what it takes to get a house and how complicated it is.
I was very fortunate with mine to be buying it from my grandparents.
Yeah.
Like the house that we're in now is my grandparents. They sold it to me very cheap, but I still had to go through the process of getting a loan through the bank.
Yeah, and then the deed transfer and all that stuff.
And like you said, so when you go in and get a contract for that loan, it's like 30 years. And you start thinking, I'm not even alive for 30 years. That's a big...
It's a big commitment.
Jump, yeah. And I mean, you can sell it and give it to somebody else, but it's still, when you start to think, where will I be in 30 years? Like it's crazy to think that you might still be paying off this house, or if you don't this one, you're still going to be probably paying on another one, transferring over to another loan. So house payments they suck, but at the same time, it's, like you said, a big boy move.
We're definitely, the reason we want to go ahead and get into a house, because of course, me looking at it at first, I was like, well, why don't we just keep living in an apartment, and then when we get ready to have a family, then we can move into a house. But the way Chris's dad kind of explained it to me and made it make sense to me is, instead of throwing your money away at something you'll never own, you're building what the term equity,
Yes.
So actually property value and things like that, and you'll know, because I don't think you guys are planning on staying this or making this your forever home.
No, it's definitely.
But improving the house brings up its value,
yes.
which means you can make money off of it, and then you can put that money towards your next house, so on and so forth, whatever you want to do with it.
Whereas rent, you just practically
rent,
turn around and throw it in the trash can.
Yeah.
It's gone. You're paying somebody else to sleep somewhere.
Yeah, so when he explained that to me, I was like, well, yeah, I guess we should buy a house. Especially since now that we've looked at it, and with my job, it makes sense to just go ahead and settle down here for a while, and then look at our options in a few years, because eventually, you know, she wants to move out or up to Lexington, because with her job, it's a bigger market. She wants to make more money up there.
Yeah.
And I could probably end up making a little bit more money as a driver up there. Not by much, obviously, but just the cost of living difference.
It's probably one of the proudest moments for me, even though it was my grandparents' house, like going through that process. And once they moved out and I was in the home that I grew up in and I owned it, it's
kind of like a surreal experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird too, because obviously I was by myself. So when they moved out, it's real quiet. It was like you didn't realize how much
life
were there.
Brought,
yeah. And so I was like, man, this is it now. So now I got to decide what I want to do with the house, and if I want to paint this wall this color, I can do that. You know, it's like it's my house. The whole house is mine now. You know, I've been used to that room's mine. I use the bathroom and the kitchen, you know, and the living room. But then now it's like I've got 3 rooms. I've got a basement, and I got all kinds of things I can do with it. So,
which I mean, heck, it's worked out. You know, you got a studio for your YouTube stuff.
I don't know what we would have done if I didn't have the room that I have down here.
Yeah.
It is just a basement, so you know, if we'd done a behind the scenes video,
you'd have seen
the pictures you guys will see on Instagram. You can tell that it's in a basement that it's not a finished basement. So we built walls down here, and we've made it something that if somebody walked in here, we've had company here, and they're like, wow, I didn't know all this was all in one room, because our old setup, it was all in one room. Yeah. Now there's separate rooms for the different setups, so it's very neat to see where we started, where we're at now. We're both just really excited for this. We're both pumped to do this today. You got lucky enough to be off today.
Yeah.
So here I am sitting here.
It's like
at the house.
all the stars aligned, and now.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm super excited. Obviously, you guys are seeing this on Saturday, so I don't know. I really hope you guys enjoy the new setup and enjoy what we've created.
We're proud of it.
Yes.
I mean, we really are. We've been, you know, talking in the last season. We were talking all about, you know, how excited we were for this to kind of update everything, and because this all came up as just like, well, hey, let's do a podcast together.
Yeah, you literally were like, well, how do you feel about doing a podcast? I'm like, I never listened to podcasts, but we give it a shot, and it's turned into something that we both enjoy and have a lot of fun with. That just catching up, like you said, we haven't talked really since we took a break, because we're just living. You know, we're doing what we have to do to get through, and what we enjoy doing in our spare time. And this has kind of been put on the back burner to get everything situated. So I feel good to get back into it, like catch up and just hang out again. Yeah.
It's definitely. I'm just so I don't know. It just feels surreal. You know, we're trying to get back in the swing of things, because obviously we have been off of making videos for a month.
The amount of intro takes and whatnot that you guys won't see.
Yeah, like the 5 minutes we spent rambling before we even started the actual podcast is,
But
it's taking a lot of preparation, even right before, and you know.
Other than getting married and the honeymoon, work-wise, everything's going great. Still at Pepsi.
Did you get your route before?
Yes. Yeah.
Before we stopped.
So I talked about my route getting it. I think the week was our last week was when I was officially going to start my new route. So I've got a route set now. So I'm off every Tuesday, Wednesday, every week. That's my route for
the
foreseeable future. Yeah, definitely. If it changes sooner, great. I don't see it changing sooner. So you know. If it does, it does. If not, it doesn't affect this any, because we pre-record and then we put up no matter what.
And that's another thing, is I don't have a route, so that's why my days are kind of unpredictable, because, you know, they could put me on one route one day, and that I might get off at 4, and then the next day I get off at like 6:30, you know, on a different route. So it is a definite blessing that now you have that. Now I just got to get it right.
Yeah, we just have to build around one sporadic schedule.
Yeah.
But work's been going great. Super happy to start my channel as far as the streaming for myself. My days off, that's what I'm planning to do. Since you're going to be working, I'm going to try to put some stuff on there, my openings and whatnot. So this should be, I'm going to start doing some videos with Gabby as well. So we'll have some couple stuff that we're going to do on the channel there. And then they'll be on this channel too. We'll implement our significant others, I think, in some ways.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun. And also, you guys probably would love to see their side of things sometimes. Maybe not in the podcast area, but like
like in the bro down episodes and stuff like that.
We've got a couple ideas that obviously not fun for us, but some of them would be fun for us, but some of them are more or less you guys are going to just laugh.
Yeah, just laugh and have a good time at our misery or something.
Yeah, usually.
Like you did at the Nuts video.
Yes. Yeah. Or more or less yours, because I didn't really make it that far. I was in a lot of pain though. It's nuts.
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that pain.
Yeah. After that, we both were like, maybe we'll take a break from the hot things. So
do something a little different.
Death Nut Challenge was too much. I think if we'd done it more professionally, we'd been all right. If we had opened them out and put them on a plate and like 15 seconds, hit a timer, ate it, chewed it, and
maybe had somebody monitor it for us.
Because once we were in pain, we're
not thinking as much about, like in the video where you go like, hurry up, dude, you know.
Because the longer we waited, the more it was just going to hurt. I was trying to get to the next one, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, no, that was awful. It was awful.
I think I drank half a gallon of milk that day. I think like I went and got the milk. And like we both felt miserable after that. Sick. We thought you were gonna have to go to the hospital. You were like, you said just a few minutes away from like taking me to the hospital feeling.
I really was. I mean, I was sitting there, the cramping and the burning, and I was just.
And all I could think to myself is if we had to, and we showed up during all this COVID stuff for you because you ate some spicy nuts, how mad they probably would have been at the hospital. Like, you guys can wait. Sorry, you know.
Yeah, right. Because it was. I think at the beginning of this.
Yeah, pretty much right after, because I wasn't sure if I was going to get the product, because that was about the time everything started shutting down.
Oh, and the logistics.
So and Amazon was like, it may take longer than expected, and they didn't even give a time frame on how long it would be before I got it. But then I got it like 2 days later, so I guess it kind of had already been in the process. Of
it was already on its way or something.
Yeah, so. Yeah. But yeah, we got the new table, we got new setup, I mean, if you guys are watching on YouTube, you guys can see all of it. But for the people who are just listening,
which I know there's a couple of them.
Yes, and we appreciate everybody. If you watch it or if you just listen to it, both mean the world to us. So we've got the table. We're gonna implement some guests. We don't have any in the works yet, just because it's just getting started. But we definitely want to implement some guests, some local guests, as far as maybe they have a business, maybe they have something they would like to talk about, or somebody from our life that we want to bring on the show. I think it would be funny to.
Because we talk about a lot of these people and they've just never seen them, so.
Yeah, we kind of want to put a name to the face. But I just the new camera, we're super happy with it. It records for practically 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, which we're not going to record that long. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't click off yet. We're not going to be here that long. We still want to stick to the 45 minute to an hour mark of raw footage, and then whatever we get is what we get.
Yeah.
We don't want to drag it on too much if we don't really feel like we're having too much to talk about. We don't want to keep you guys here to listen to nothing. But the camera will take care of itself. Hopefully the quality looks as good or close to which one we were using before, because it was a photo camera. It wasn't really meant for videos.
Having to, Tyler here was having to get up in the middle of the shot, which I'm sure we explained it, but in the middle of the podcast and turn the camera back on.
Yeah, and those are the things that we don't have to worry about no more. We can really stay in character and focus on what we're talking about, so we don't have to be interrupted by a technical difficulty. Or my difficulties, but in charge. It's even plugged up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's not going off either.
It's not going to die. So the only thing that's going to happen is in 2 hours we're going to run out of file footage, like file space on the memory card. Yeah. That's the only problem that it is.
So I'd say we're in pretty good shape. We put a lot of work into.
And money.
Yeah, a lot of money, a lot of work into this.
Both our significant others were like, you guys aren't making any money from this, and then
I said
clear as day. You got to spend money to make money.
Yeah. And not only that, but like I like to make the joke about, so if you guys listen to the podcast, those of you that listen on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast, you'll hear the ad that we have on there, which has been the same ad since we started, because we haven't gotten any new promotions. Which, before I continue, if you want to support the podcast, you can go onto Anchor and you can donate to the podcast. Our link, you could probably put the link on the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
I know on the bio on like Spotify or wherever you listen to the podcast, you can click on the link in the bio and it'll take you to the Anchor website. and you can donate on there.
We're no way, shape, form, or fashion
Yeah, we're
asking
not
you for donations, but
if you like the
need,
podcast and you feel like you want to support this project that we have here, thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
And those of you that support simply by listening, we thank you. The fact that you are even somewhat interested in our
two guys from Kentucky.
our lives is humbling, but we're glad that we can provide some sort of entertainment or some talking points for you and your friends or family.
Yeah, for sure. I think like the story of us, it really made my family reminisce on like memories and stuff. Made them emotional just thinking about, like I said at the wedding, like looking back at how much my life has changed and grown up and whatnot. So I think that might spark interest in other people's lives as well that maybe they want to think about as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you donate, obviously thank you. We don't ask for that though. We just enjoy you guys listening more than anything.
Here we go. See, I caught my train of thought.
And
pick back up. So that ad that we've had since the beginning of the podcast, I made the joke to Krista because she was like, "You don't make any money," and I was like, "Yes, we do." I was like, "I make money every time somebody listens to the podcast because of that ad." So that ad gives us, I think it's what, $15 per 1,000 listens or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've made $1.43 since we started the podcast.
It's crazy that
which I'm sure if you sat down and did the math, you'd be able to figure out how many views or listens that we've had. But it's not that many. But the fact that we've had that many in general is enough to keep us going.
I view all my videos, like, you know, when we first did the podcast and we got as many views as we did, I was really happy. I was like, well, I mean, maybe people really do want to see this. Because I was hesitant. I was like, it takes a lot of time. I mean, we're going to sit down and talk for an hour's worth of time, have a setup dedicated to it, like we want some kind of return to make sure people are enjoying it. If not, then there's no reason for us to do it. If nobody else is enjoying it, then we don't want to burden them with something every Saturday, you know? So it turned into people enjoyed it. So then it was like, cool. So then when we get comments and stuff on the videos, and then we would both respond to those, or through Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, when we push the video, people would like, oh, this is cool, I didn't know you did this. Or so it turned into something we both are really passionate about now. Looking back on it, it's funny that I kick myself now and I'm like, why did I think this wasn't going to work? You know? Like, this is great. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't know how popular podcasts were until one of the Marines that I started with, he was talking to me and he was like, oh, well, I listened to this podcast and this podcast and this podcast. And I was like, huh. And I didn't really listen to podcasts at the time that he mentioned that. But he said that he listened to them while he worked out. And I was like, huh. Well, when I got out and I started, you know, because we watch, you know, Rhett and Link on Good Mythical Morning and so on and so forth. So we're big fans of them. But they have a podcast, Ear Biscuits.
That's actually the only podcast I've actually sat and listened to a whole podcast of. It's Ear Biscuits.
So I started listening to that while I was at work, and then that branched off into other podcasts, like the Smoke Pit podcast, which are a couple veterans that sit down and they have a podcast. But you know, so I was like, man, this is actually like a really cool thing, and you know, I brought it up to Tyler. He's like, hey, you know, and it's not. Like I originally told you, it's kind of more of like a therapeutic thing, especially for me.
Yeah.
Because coming out of the military, it was just like...
Especially those first few episodes, it really, like, you put your feelings into words, essentially. Like, you know, what made you, you.
Yeah.
So it was definitely therapeutic. And I feel good after every episode we film, like, first thing I've been like, that was a good episode. Yeah. That was fun. That one went really well. We hit, like, really good points. We had a lot of fun with it. And like the rest of my day, I feel uplifted. You know, as far as like mentally, I feel better.
Just the fact that even without the camera on, we can sit and talk forever.
Yeah.
Not doing anything except talking.
I still remember to this day when we sat down to talk about the podcast. We should have been just filming.
Yeah, because we spent like 3 hours or something talking about it. I was like,
well, we could have just had a podcast now. That's what we talked about, because we got off track so much during it, like what we were going to talk about, what we didn't want to talk about, what we felt was
We're
good.
Dreamers. Yeah. We're dreamers, man. We
got the imagination, at least, for sure.
We got that driving us at the very least. You know, that's another thing I was thinking the other day. I was like, man, where's my imagination gone? Because sometimes I'll sit down and I'm like, I have time to play video games. I never have time to play video games. And it's like, and then I don't play because I'm just like, well, Tyler's not on, so I'll just kind of sit here. I don't have other friends that are on, so I'll just sit and watch Netflix, I guess. I'm like, where's your imagination gone? You know, like, I used to be able to sit and play anything. I could play the Call of Duty campaigns if I was that bored, you know. But now I just can't.
Yeah, I was the same way, and I think just a couple weeks ago I put on Facebook, like, if you have Xbox, to add me, because I was just like, I don't really have, like, my group of friends that I used to play with, we just don't have the same schedules anymore.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I really miss just hopping on with the boys and just playing Xbox for, you know, hours on end. So I added a couple people then, and that was nice. But then after that, I was like, man, I had a lot of fun just meeting these guys and, like, talking for the first time on Xbox. I was like, that's what Xbox Live's for. I'm like, why don't I just get on Call of Duty and play with, like, some random people and maybe meet somebody that's cool and has a schedule like mine.
Yeah.
And so, like, now I've been hopping on, like, Rocket League and playing with random people, and sometimes I'll get somebody that's talking, some people that won't. But it's cool just to kind of play. It's more like a sports game. So, I mean, you're competitive in it and whatnot, but it's also fun just to talk and catch up or to talk to new people. So I've been doing that a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was the same way. I was like, if you weren't on or somebody else wasn't on, I was like, well, I guess I'll go upstairs and hang out with Gabby if she's home. Or if she's not, I'd just watch YouTube, you know, a lot of times if I wasn't filming something down here. But I think this really sparked our imagination. I think both of us were really like putting the stencils on the wall and trying to figure that out. And the logo is going to be an unspoken situation. But both of us know how that went. I still have paint on my hands, actually, from the logo.
Finishing it up.
Yeah. The stencils did not work correctly, which led to hand painting. So that was what took a couple hours to hand paint after the stencils failed. So I don't know if I have ever worked on something that meticulously, like that particular, to where I didn't want anything to be messed up.
Yeah.
So when I got done with it, I was like, that's it. I feel like I should charge myself for the labor that I just used. Like, I feel like I should pay myself for what I just had to do.
Yeah, and it didn't help, you know, that I couldn't be over here to help, you know.
I'm glad you weren't, though, for that, because it was like, if I hadn't just sat there and think, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to fix this? Because now we're back to the drawing board. If you'd been here, I feel like we would have just been like, nah, let's scratch it. Let's do something else. So I'm glad that I sat there and let my brain just kind of like turn the cog. Like, yeah, okay, I could do this. I could do this. Will that work? What about this? So, like, it was like I was pros and cons of doing it in certain ways, and it turned into what it is now. So I'm happy with it. I'm really proud with it. I'm proud of the shelves. I think we kind of vamped up the shelves a little bit. We've added stuff on both sides if you're watching on YouTube, just to kind of spice it up and put more life into it for us creatively, where it doesn't feel like we're just showing up to an empty set.
Yeah.
I did bring the old original back. I kind of changed it a little bit, not too much, but the
everybody's
favorite shelf was the skull shelf with the Skyrim book and the alcohol on it and whatnot.
The cannons and all such. I added the skateboard, and I brought this Bulbasaur that I spent $20 worth of yen in Japan to win. Because I was like, I don't know why I decided I was just going to get this Bulbasaur, but I was sitting there at this crane machine because a couple of my friends, we went out to, I want to say Sega. They had a whole Sega arcade, and they just had these Pokemon machines with these stuffed Pokemon in there. I was like, I want that Bulbasaur. And I sat there, $20 worth of yen, and I finally won it. You know,
it's still rewarding either way. I would lose all my money in a store like that. Being the nerd that I am, there's no way I'd ever probably leave. But yeah, we just want to add stuff like that. I'm glad you wanted to bring it here. You know, obviously this is my house, not his, so like it's going to be there. Like, I'll have to keep it safe and whatnot. So I mean, nobody comes down here anyway. This is kind of like my area.
It's the set.
It is. Because Gabby was like, well, we could have like patio furniture down there or something. I'm like, no. That side there, nobody goes in there. Like, that's business side
we don't do
of things. So I don't mind to put something on the other side of the basement if she wanted to, but I would have to like section it off to where, like, if there was kids or something. Obviously, my stuff, when the kids come here, they see all the pop figures and all the Pokemon. They're like, "Whoa, is that for me?" I'm like, "No, it's for me, the grown adult that has a bunch of pops." But I try to give them away. If I have doubles of some, I'll be like, "Here, you can have this one," or something like the little miniature ones.
Yeah.
So, So I try to give those away when I can, just because there's no reason for me to have 2 of any of them.
Mm-hmm. Like when you were opening
the mystery minis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you get stuck with like 2 or 3 of the same ones. So those I would give away. I gave some to my nephew. One of her friends' kids came over, and I gave him a couple of them. The extras that he liked he likes Marvel, so I had a couple extra Marvel bobblehead ones. So anytime I can do that, it's great. But yeah, so she wanted to put something on the other side, kind of like we have glass sliding doors in the garage. It used to be like a fold-up garage door, like a basement, but now they're sliding French doors, I think is what they call them. But then she wanted to put something there so like we can grill out in the backyard and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we kind of have to like situate it to where we can do both. But we have all the stuff set up over here that if you move anything, I mean, we spent 10 minutes trying to make sure the camera angle
fix the camera just right
to our liking. So
and it probably doesn't still look exactly the way we want it. But
yeah, we'll sit back in the edit and be like, we should have moved it to the left a half inch or something.
Yeah, or less.
So if somebody come down and like, well, this is a nice camera, and they just turned it one way, both of us would be like, ooh.
Yeah.
So
definitely, be upset.
Yeah.
Jeez. So I'm just trying to think.
I'm so happy. I'm excited.
I'm just so overwhelmed with things that I'm like, all right, what do we want to cover in this episode?
I was literally sitting in the shower, we're not sitting in the shower, but in the shower, and I'm playing like how I'm going to do the intro, how I'm going to like talk about certain things over the wedding, the honeymoon, work, and anything like that. And I'm probably forgetting so much now. And like I'll sit there like, man, I didn't even talk about this or that.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm like,
there's always the next episode, you know?
Because I was I was telling you, I think I told you when I got here and not on the podcast, or on this episode, but, when I got the call center, or when I called my boss and I was like, hey, am I working today? Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, man, he's like, do you care to be on call? And I got off the phone with him and I was like, this is perfect. I was like, if I'm not working today, Tyler's off today. I was like, we got all day to work on stuff.
Yeah.
Because
there's more than just the filming that we're doing right now. We're still trying. This is obviously pre-recorded before Saturday. So before Saturday, we still got we want to make sure the YouTube channel looks good. We want to make sure the Instagram's set up perfectly so that now you guys are going to start seeing when we shout out the Instagram, Bacon Decker. On the screen for the YouTube video, there will be Bacon Decker. The @ for
Instagram.
The Instagram. That way, you guys can just see how to type it in, search it up, and you guys will see the page to follow. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna do like selfies, behind the scenes, anything around the podcast or the bro down. Maybe
anything
some aftermath.
that we're doing, just in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we're just hanging out or something, and we see something cool that we want to share with you guys, that's how we're gonna try to push the content is through Instagram. It seems like the easiest option. We both can log into it. We both can monitor it if we need to, change anything we need to. We both have access to it. We're business partners essentially. At this point.
Yeah.
We literally paid for the camera in half and half. Like we were like, we need to split this in half. They're like, okay, we can do that. And we're not keeping count of anything, but I know that we've dropped a pretty penny into something that we're just passionate about.
Yeah, just trying to do this,
Yeah, with no expectations of where it's going to go. We just enjoy doing it, but we want to, both of us, kick ourselves if something doesn't work right. We're both perfectionists in the way to make sure it's literally like the camera angle. I mean, it might not even look bad to you guys, but to us, we see flaws in something. And
like how we want the shot to be, something could be just slightly off and we're just upset about it. So
we definitely want to provide the best content for you guys.
Other than just trying to get all this set up over the break and you getting married and me trying to buy this house, I mean,
it's life, man.
Yeah.
I still, it's like yesterday or the other day when you come in and you're like, it's weird seeing you with a ring on your finger. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like this whole time, it didn't seem real up until like the day of. I was like, this is it. It's like finally getting married and being happy together. I just didn't expect it to go as smooth as it did. I was and I know at least all of us as groomsmen were like, all right, we got to make sure that everything falls in place. We're getting everything. We're doing our part. We're helping out as best we can. So we showed up
as on time as all of us could be. We showed up early because
so the itinerary for the day told us to be there at 1:00, and then at 1:15 we were going to start photos. And I literally was like, "There's no way myself or any of my groomsmen are going to be able to get in their suits and happily ready in 15 minutes."
No.
So I was like, "Let's all accidentally get there
too early,
and that I'd rather be in trouble for being there too early than too late."
Yeah.
Which nothing was said. They were like, "Great, they're already here. They're ready to go," and we got photos taken care of beforehand. That was the biggest thing is you're trying to balance photos. So a lot of weddings, you don't see the bride until the actual wedding. Like traditionally, you don't see them until then. But if you want really good photos, you should do it beforehand because you get a first look, which they capture like me seeing her and whatnot. We haven't got those photos back yet. We're super excited to see those. The guy that did the venue, the Hidden Homestead in Smiths Grove, did a wonderful job for photos, getting it together. There was like shots that we wanted, and we're like, "Well, we didn't get this for it." He's like, "Well, I've got it. I can take care of it. Don't worry about it." Because he was interested in getting the shots. He was really excited to make sure the wedding went perfect too. But those shots, like the first look, and then just photos in general, getting up. So our wedding was at 5.
Yeah.
At 5:00, it was already getting dark.
Dark and rainy.
Yeah. So while we had a decent time in the day, that's when we got a lot of the photos of me and her together beforehand. So then when the wedding actually happened, it wasn't about just seeing her for the first time. It was about the ceremony and actually getting married. And I told her, and I feel bad for her, I don't remember the ceremony. I don't remember. I remember saying the vows and everything and making it official. But I could not tell you what he was talking about because I was so focused on her and like the moment that, we were grinning from ear to ear, I believe, the whole
the whole time?
The whole ceremony. We were kind of like smiling, and he would say something, and both of us would like kind of laugh at it, like mentally, when he was like, for richer or poor, and both of us kind of grinned at poor, because, a lot of times we're like, we're young adults, we're like, we're not rich. So when he said poor, both of us kind of just grinned at each other because they're like, yeah, definitely for poor, Because there's been times when, when she moved here, she had trouble finding a job in Bowling Green that she enjoyed. And then my switch from Clark to Pepsi, I wasn't making the most money at Pepsi or Clark. So there was definitely times that we were struggling. So that was kind of like the little smirk to each other. It's like, we're definitely, if we can do it during the poor, we'll be finding the rich part if we ever get there. But the ceremony was just a blur to me. And then walking down the aisle, I just remember holding her hand and going down and then waiting to go into the reception. And I think the reception went really well. Everybody seemed to have fun. It kind of livened up there at the very end. Once a lot of people left, the people that were still there really wanted to dance and have fun. It turned into more of like a get-together than it was a reception. Once I changed out of my suit, I felt 100 times better. I'm a big guy, so the suit didn't fit perfectly for me.
It was a rental,
Yeah, so the undershirt didn't really fit right. So I went 2 days before the wedding. I had to go find a button-up shirt that would stay tucked in. That was my issue. It's just like if I moved my shoulders at all, the shirt came untucked. So that was like a big worry for me, is make sure I found a shirt beforehand. But I still was very tight-fitting in it. So as soon as I got out of those clothes, I felt more outgoing, more fun, like just having fun with her. And getting, I had to drive home. So we didn't drink. We didn't have any alcohol, which I think you had a little bit, because I got all the groomsmen a gift with alcohol, like a little shot glass.
Maybe a shot, dude. But
I was burning up. It was like 45 degrees outside, and I was sweating.
Well, they had the heat on in the reception.
It was booming in the reception area, because as soon as we walked through the doors, and so when we walked through into the reception, we went directly to our first dance. And I guess they'd had the heat kicking. That way, when everybody was cold outside, as soon as they went in, they warmed up. Well, I was already warm. So,
which I don't know how. Let me tell you guys, it was cold that day. All of us groomsmen were just sitting there just shaking.
I'm over here sweating.
I
think a lot of it was nerves, too, because once I sat down and I was eating at the reception and stuff, I cooled off. I felt better. But then as soon as I had to stand up to dance or anything, I'd start sweating again. So I think it's more of an anxious thing. I'm not a public dancer or anything like that. I'm not very outgoing when it comes to that kind of thing.
Which
all eyes on me.
the YouTube thing, but
Yeah, it's different though when it's a camera. Like there's not like 100 people sitting here looking at me.
yeah,
I feel like a live audience, I would be
you'd be a
sweating.
little nervous.
Yeah, you're like, wow, this is crazy. But on a camera, I feel like there's that gap between each other that I can talk comfortably and not stress about them looking directly at me, even though they are. It's just through a camera.
It's you can worry. You don't have to worry about it because it's after the fact.
Right. Yeah. It's like it's too late now. It's going out.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was definitely it was an awesome wedding. I was definitely really happy for you guys. When I tell you I worked on that best man speech for a few months, I really did. I was like, I want it to be just right, and now, of course, me and Krista, we went to her friend's wedding at the beginning of October.
Kind of got a feel.
Yeah, so I was like looking for the best man speech and the maid of honor speech, and I was like, all right, well, let me listen to how they kind of formatted it. And then I kind of like looked it up and I was like, how do people normally do this? And it was like, well, they introduce themselves and they, give a story, and then they thank, the person that they're not necessarily there for. So, like they're opposite. So it's like I thank Gabby and all that stuff. So it was just like, all right, I got to make sure I do all these things.
It was pretty much a work assignment as well.
Yeah, it was homework. But
I literally was driving there and I was like, I hope to God he's made a speech, because we hadn't talked about it. There was so Gabby's like, well, yeah, he talked to me. And
I joked about it. I was like, oh, my best man speech is gonna be awesome.
And I didn't really know anything about it, so I was like, I hope to God he knows that he has to do a speech, because if there's no speech, it's like that's gonna be like a moment she's gonna get mad, and upset. And I mean, you drove it home, and then her sister and best friend both did a great job too. I would have felt bad going behind you though, because you did an incredible job. So I would have been like, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way I can top this speech. Just to myself. You hit all the key points. You didn't stay on anything too long. Like it was just it was short and simple, but it was also very detailed at the same time.
And I kind of felt bad because I was like, man, I should have done more. Because her sister went kind of, longer than mine. And
she struggled to hold it together. So she obviously
was taking more pauses.
But, being her sister and whatnot, and she's the last one to get married on the sister side.
Yeah.
Her brother's still married, but
as far as
this is the last. Yeah. Unless you count Courtney, her half sister or whatever. She isn't married either or in a relationship, but she's this is her blood sister, growing up together the entire. So it was
the whole 9 yards.
I would have a hard time, I feel like, keeping it together, and I might even at yours. But if Hunter decides to get married, if Hunter was to have me as his best man, I don't know if he would, or if he had one of his friends, his growing up friends, which is fine, I don't care. But if I had to, I feel like I'd have a hard time keeping it together for my brother compared to, just because you have that blood relationship.
Of course, I don't have any brothers, so I guess that's another reason mine was kind of emotional, just because you're the only brother I have. And that's what my mom was saying too. My mom came to the wedding.
Yeah, both your family side came to the wedding. I was really happy with everybody that came too. There was a lot of people that didn't show up that even RSVP'd, and I guess because of the weather, they didn't come. So it was people that I was looking for that didn't come. That I don't care if they didn't. I told her I don't care if anybody shows up as long as we're both there.
As long as the wedding's happening.
And the people that do come, I appreciate coming. So that was if you didn't get to make it, there's no hard feelings. I don't, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So and we got a lot of congratulations on Facebook and stuff too. The whole 2 days after the wedding. So
phone just blew up.
We got married Saturday. We didn't leave until Monday morning. All the way up until Monday night, there were still family members posting pictures and commenting on how gorgeous she was, or how handsome I was, or how great the wedding was. It was the best wedding they've ever been to. We just had a ton of feedback from people that didn't make it and people that were there. And so the love was there for sure. If you didn't show up and she said something afterwards, it means the same to me either way. You don't have to physically be there for it to mean something to me. But that was it, man. That was as soon as we stopped for the filming of the podcast and my stuff, it turned into
let's get ready for the wedding.
And when I went to get my suit the 2 days before, that was when it hit me. I was like, oh crap, I'm getting married. This is it, there's no looking back on it or anything. I didn't have any regrets or anything. It's just it hits you emotionally, wow, this is happening. So once I put that suit on, I'm looking in my mirror in my house. I'm just like, wow, you know.
Of course, for me, it was like, man, my best friend's getting married, and I was like, I don't want to screw anything up. I was like, I don't know what a best man's supposed to do. Like, the whole day before, I was just freaking out. I was like, am I supposed to do more than just a speech? I was like, I don't know what I need to do.
She was super happy, and if she ever talks about it, if for some reason she is on the podcast or anything like that, I'm sure she'll mention it if it comes up. But she was super happy with all the groomsmen. She was really worried because of we weren't very vocal about it beforehand. Like, even the bachelor party, we didn't really vocalize anything until like the week of, and then it was like we had a good time and had a lot of fun. But before that, it was kind of like, well, what are you guys doing, or what are they doing? Are they okay? Are they going to be there?
Did we talk about the bachelor party on the podcast?
No, that happened too, didn't
That happened.
That did happen. I try to forget, to be honest.
It wasn't a crazy bachelor party, to say the least. I mean,
it was a COVID bachelor party, so it was a house party essentially here at the house. Everybody had fun.
We probably spent a little too much money for
the drink.
Yeah, the amount of drinking we did, which was not a lot.
Well, I quit, so I've had a few beers throughout the year, so I haven't had anything strong. So
I think our mindset is we're still those drinkers, and then when we actually drink, we're not those drinkers anymore.
And I really do think that drinking is a cover-up for if you're alone, if you're not happy, or even happiness in general. If it gets you to be happy, I feel like you're missing something. And when I met Gabby, I quit. I just did not have any interest to drink. We drank on the cruise after we met, and I drank at the bar a few times with her. We went with my mom, and like a couple bars here in town.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, there was no more buying it for the house. I maybe have a 6-pack of Angry Orchards for like a barbecue or something, but that was it. And I just was like, she was like, well, you could drink and we could have a party or whatever. I'm like, I just don't feel like drinking anymore. Like I have fun without it now. So I like when we had the barbecue for the 4th of July thing. Obviously, I'm shooting fireworks, so I'm not going to get sloshed anyway.
Blow your fingers
out. I did not want to be a statistic, but I had 2 Angry Orchards, and that was it. Just because I had them with my food, and that I was just more focused on getting the fireworks set up and everything. But I had a blast doing that. I didn't need alcohol, so I think a lot of people, if you drink and go out and have fun, great, good for you. Mm-hmm. But if you enjoy life without it, also great for you as well. Yeah. You know, because there's a lot of nights I wish I could forget that I've been drunk.
For me, it's like, I think, I drank a lot, and I mean a lot while I was out in Okinawa. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was fun, but that's really because it was one of the very few things you could really do and have fun, and honestly, I'm glad I did, because I met good people while I did it, and I learned a lot about the culture through drinking out there. But yeah, once I got home, I still drank a lot. I mean, you were familiar with, when I first got home, and I think that was a lot to do with dealing with, now I got to move on to this next step in my life. But once me and Krista were in a solid relationship, and we were hanging out a lot more often, and I got into like a routine again.
Yeah.
I didn't drink as much either. I'll go out and have fun occasionally.
Yeah, or the bachelor party.
Yeah, what we did at the bachelor party.
That's what you're saying is we bought too much for that night because
we do not have the tolerance that we used to have, because we still have that mindset of
I think it gives you courage too. Obviously, once you get a little bit in you, you're like, I could drink all night, and you're like, oh no, I can't. A few minutes later, you're like, that was a bad idea.
It was like we started. We got those little mini bottles, and we drank those at the beginning of the night. And that was just enough to...
We had one photo from the night.
Yeah.
So the next day or she was gone all weekend actually for stuff for the wedding and whatnot. But when she got back, she's like, where'd you get photos? I said, we got one. We got one photo. She goes, you got one photo? I was like, yeah, our first shot. That was it. Yeah. I was like, there was no phones involved afterwards. It was like...
Well, it was like we were all kind of present in the moment, just having fun with each other.
That's the first time we'd hung out like with everybody since me and her got together pretty much. Like, we've had a couple barbecues and stuff, or family get-togethers, but we haven't had a house party or especially just the boys. Hasn't happened since I met her, for sure.
But we played Mario Kart. We did drunk Mario Kart That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a drinking game too.
That should have been the whole night. That's what we
Yeah.
should have done. Like, we drank a lot before we started playing Mario Party. And
We did another drinking game though, didn't we? And that's what got us there?
no, we didn't do another drinking game, I don't think. We played Cyanide Happiness is the picture game or whatever that Dylan brought.
Oh yeah, we played a couple rounds of
It's
that.
kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but you have pictures, so that was a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
that was just when we were casually drinking. We weren't even drunk by then.
Oh yeah, and we were keeping tally of
Yes.
who was drinking the most.
Yeah, so we made punch, and the punch was way too strong.
Oh yeah.
It was
We added
overpowering with
probably
whiskey.
too much whiskey.
I think if we hadn't put as much whiskey in it, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, it would have been more
And I
tolerable
think
too.
everybody. So it turned into. I think you had what, 4 glasses
No,
of
I
punch.
I had 2 glasses.
Oh, you had
of
2.
punch.
I had 7.
I had
Okay.
more. I had more shots than I did punch. If that
Yeah.
tells you how strong it was.
Yeah, I had 7 cups of the punch, which was the most out of anybody because I was trying to get. I was still in
you're
the
trying to get
mindset.
rid
I was
of it.
like, let's get rid of it. We
Yeah.
gotta get rid of it. By the
I
7th,
don't think we emptied one of those pitchers.
it was halfway. Not even halfway of the pictures. We got 2. I don't know what we were thinking. If we had 20 people, I think we might have had a little bit of punch left. Like, it was just, we made too much. The recipe called for more than what we had here.
Yeah.
Obviously, and a few didn't really drink any of it, so they
yeah.
tried it. So
One person that we had only drank 1 shot.
yeah, and that was the
Mhm.
celebration shot. That was
Yeah.
it. But
He had to
that's
work.
fine.
So
Yeah,
that-
yeah. So it was fun though.
I guess
we had a blast.
we were just anticipating too much drinking, which I think we all drank too fast,
Yes.
and so we all ended up asleep before.
Which Hunter was an hour late, my brother.
Mhm.
So by the time he got there, everybody else was anticipating the night going forward.
Yeah,
so
we were already
we
like,
rushed it. Yeah,
yeah.
we were ready to get crazy and
yeah,
have
we
fun.
thought we were behind.
Yeah, and which we were not. We could have casually drank all the way through the night and been fine, but midnight hit, and
I think the last person that fell asleep by midnight.
I think Hunter and Dylan said they went to bed about 12:30. You hit the floor at 12. I carried you to the bedroom to put you in bed because you would have slept on the floor, but you were where Dylan had to put the air mattress down for him.
Yeah.
So I had to drag you from the living room to the bedroom, put you to bed. But at that time, I hit the bed. And I was like, I don't feel good. So I went to the bathroom, and then after that, I was like, nah, I guess I can go to bed. And I fell asleep. And then you said you checked in the morning to make sure I was still breathing, and you said I was out. There was no.
Well, it was like because I was the first one out, so I didn't. You know, normally I'm like
It was work though.
I'm
See,
like
we
the
both
mom
worked those
of the
days.
group,
Yeah.
you know. So I like to make sure everybody's okay, you know. So when I was the first one out, I was like, oh, I don't know how the night ended up. Which of course, you know, I woke up first, and on top of that, Krista was already like, well, you know.
Oh, see, I left my phone in the kitchen with the music playing. So I guess Dylan and Hunter turned the music off because I didn't. I forgot to turn the music off. So I guess one of them had turned off the Pandora. But you had gotten up and cleaned up already.
Yeah, I was starting
somewhat.
to clean up, and you know, about that time, everybody started stirring.
Yeah, once I heard y'all up, I went ahead and got up, took some medicine
Yeah.
for the headache, and then.
But I peeked my head in your door. I was like, all right, he's breathing.
Yeah, you can tell if I'm
You were
breathing.
snoring.
Yeah, deep snore, deep breathing. I don't know if I have an issue or not, but you can tell if I'm asleep.
Uh-huh.
There's no like falling asleep casually watching a movie with her
Mhm.
because as soon as I start snoring, the first snore, she's like, "Wake up, wait!" And it's like, "Huh."
See, I don't do that. The other day, Krista got mad at me because she gets mad at me because I'll fall asleep in the recliner late at night or something.
Mhm.
You're watching a movie and I'll just knock out, and she'll look up and be like, "Hey, how long have you been asleep?"
See, if I looked up like that, I'm getting a hand in the throat. So Gabby and I have the running just like. Literally on the way to the cruise to New Orleans, she went to get a drink of water, and she just like went like that, and she just didn't expect it. And since this time, I've not been able to do it because she does this when she drinks. So I mean, I just chopped her right in the throat, like not hard, but just enough
Just
while
tapped
she's
her.
drinking that she's about choked to death. But since then, she hasn't been able to. But anytime one of us like yawn or like lean up, or
Yeah.
whatever, we either throat or mouth. Try to stick her finger in the mouth or something. I don't know. It's just. Couples thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we pester each other. So there's no like ease of sleeping. Like the only time I get full rest is when we're in bed.
Yeah, when
ready
you
for
actually
bed.
go to bed.
If one of us try to take a nap or something, there's always a moment that like you feel like somebody's about to do something, like almost like you're about to get pranked or something. But hopefully, the camera did a great job. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and enjoyed coming back to this season.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add to just the closure?
I mean, basically just tell us what you think of the new set, of the attitude going forward, what you guys want to see. You know, we're very open to ideas, and you know, we like communicating with our audience. So let us know your favorite story from the podcast, what you want to hear about. And again, let us know. Just communicate with us, because we like hearing from you guys, and you know, giving us ideas is going to make us do stuff.
Yep,
So
sure. So until next time, thanks for watching.